Welcome to this look at a new map to Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. The return of Spectacle Island. This has been converted over from FS17 to FS19 by Alien Jim. It's 190.52 megabytes to download. As of this morning, it was in doubt whether this had passed testing. It failed last week, it went back in, and Jim got a message this morning saying it failed again. However, the problem couldn't be replicated by giants. So here we have it. I'm on PlayStation. We are on Spectacle Island. Please have your passports with you at all times. I'm excited. I am. This is a fantastic map. You'll see as we go around. The map itself looks like this. Now, if you played it on FS17, it might be a welcome return, a nostalgic return. My rule of thumb when a map gets converted over from a previous version, is it a nostalgic map you just come on and play because it's the same as it was before, just with all the new features, or has enough been done to it to make it nostalgic, but it has a new feel to it? I think this has a new feel to it. Jim's done a lot of work on this. The map itself is the same shape. The islands are the same. There's a few little changes here and there, a few tweaks. He's added in some new buildings, some sell points, and some very nice features. I'm on New Farmer, normal economy. What do we start with on New Farmer? Well, we start with a fair bit, actually. We start with this whole farm area here with all the animal pens in it. We start with field 1, field 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Quite a few. Field prices actually aren't too bad. The periphery of the map, as you can see, is 1,661,464. You might want to, at some point, maybe put some money in or go about buying that. It will help with placeables and things like that if you want to, but again, you don't have to. The rest of the field prices are pretty good. Field 7's a fair size field, 145 grand, 89, 91. So, not horrendous. This island here where the sawmill is, you can buy it in chunks. That is mostly forestry. There's a bit of forestry knocking about here and there. And then the island up here, again, can be bought in sections. We're going to get round to all of it, hopefully, as we go around. As you can see on New Farmer, the biogas plant is already bought. The biogas plant is only 11,640 to buy, which is pretty handy. There are quite a lot of sell points. We've got the bakery, biogas, cargo ship, grain warehouse. There's a whole load. We'll get round to all of those too. The biogas plant will take extra things. Why is that not moving? There we go. So we'll take slurry and manure. It will take grass, hay, straw, silage. It will also take, where is it? Sugarcane, potato, and sugar beets. So pretty comprehensive on the biogas front. I think it's a regular, 720 for silage as a standard price. So a slightly elevated price to what we're used to on most maps. It's normally around 360. So that's brilliant. We're going to start here. Well, this is where we're going to start here. This is where we start. At the harbour. First thing we're going to look at immediately, there's a lighthouse just there. The lighthouse at night comes on and the beam goes round. Some people find that annoying. If you find it annoying, we have a lighthouse power switch we can turn off. Now, obviously, your hoodlums and hooligans that hang around in the evenings, if you're working in the lighthouse, if you're a lighthouse keeper, most of them are unmanned these days, you don't want hoodlums mucking around with that. But you can turn the lighthouse on and off if you're finding it annoying. That's entirely your choice. As we come around the harbour, we've got a few boats docked. Fishing boats, pleasure vessels, that kind of thing. And we come to the first of the sell points. I'm going to keep referring back to the map because I made a note, but there's quite a lot to get around. So we've got Portside Grain is the first one just here. I like all the extra little features that get thrown in. Things like the crab traps, the fish, the lobster pots and those kind of things. I like it. The sound effects, it all adds to it. We've got the Portside Cafe. And it's like these details that make a difference. Sliding doors, we come in. This is the next sell point. This is an egg sell point. and the egg sell point is just here. You can put your eggs on there if you want to here at the cafe. As we continue round, we come to the vehicle workshop and the vehicle imports. Now, vehicle imports is your buy, sell point, that kind of thing, and it's done in a way that the tanker ship that is just here, shipping tanker, is where your vehicles spawn. So you kind of simulate the fact they're being imported into the island. I've always liked that as a feature. I think it's absolutely brilliant, but it's been tidied up, it's been adjusted, it's been amended. It does have a different feel, whilst I know it's going to sound ridiculous, whilst feeling the same. Oh good, they do accept MasterCard. So into the workshop. You can only open these on the inside. Sound effects all work, all match. The back here as well. We have our workshop trigger just here. We do have a raising lift. Jim was one of the first people I saw implement one of these on a map. We have the staff only office downstairs with cupboards that open. We have the workshop trigger bit here, and then we can go upstairs into the office as well. We're going to talk about slot counts and stuff in just a moment. Office upstairs. Now, I'm a new farmer. The slot count is 365 out of 1299, which I think is amazing. And you do start with a load of vehicles. The slot count is the same on Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, 365. I spoke to Jim about an hour ago, and Jim, when it came out on console, Jim checked it. He messaged me and said, I forgot to change it. He did mean to remove the vehicles on Farm Manager and Start from Scratch. Now, you can do it yourself, of course you can. You can sell them and you can lease stuff and return it if you want to get your money down, however you want to go about it. If you sell all the vehicles you start with, you can get the slot count down to 247. So 365 on all three, New Farmer, Farm Manager or Start from Scratch, but you can get that down to 247 if you want to. Are there custom crops on the map? There aren't any custom crops, but there are a couple of additions, which I'll talk about later on. Contracts are available as well. What we'll do is come over here. Lots of farm crisps. Sussex, No Man's Land, Mercury. I like that. Washoe. Excellent. And here's your buy points. Now, when you come out of the buy point, this is where it puts you up on the deck of the tanker, and this is where all your start machinery is that we start with on the map. Now you come off of the deck just here and go down the ramp. We'll get to that in a moment as well. At the back of the tanker ship we've got another sell point, which I think we have to open. Yes we do. This sell point is the cargo ship. So we've done portside grain, portside cafe, cargo ship. I think what I'm going to do is lease a pickup to get us round. That should do. It should be here on the deck. Where is it? There we go. Now we have got a lot to get round, because it's a fairly small map in that the islands don't take up the entire map, but because they're spread out it's going to take us a little while. Lighting is great. Sometimes maps can be a little bit dark here and there, can be a bit of a problem. So as we leave the dock area, come off the first little bit of island, a few houses. I don't know if it's still going to be here. Jim sent me a work in progress version of this to have a look at on PC, and that was the week before I went away on holiday. But he did send me a message today to say that if it passes, there were a few changes he'd made since then to the finished version. So there are a few little bits here and there that I'm going to have to keep an eye out for. So we have a dog. loose, running around. No kennel or anything like that. The dog is here. General store is closed. But one thing I did get a look at early on was the development of this building, and this blew me away. The detail on this is incredible. Now, it's not a sale point or anything like that, but it just goes to show the amount of effort that goes into these kind of things. And we've got the school. And we look in the window, you can't go in there, but the detail in there, on the displays, the bookshelves, the chalkboard, classroom rules, I mean, it's incredible. The sort of, just say, the attention to detail and the stuff that's on here is amazing. Now we need to go to. We'll do this one first, and we'll come back to. So we've got some roadworks going on, cones, flashing beacons, and the biogas plant is just here. Pipelines running from various different places. We do also have storage here. So we have this listed as a farm silo, which is just here. What I'm going to check, actually, we've got 250,000 litre capacity, 400,000, so 400,000 litre capacity total. And on the map here, that is showing as farm silo. We do have one up at the farm as well. Biogas plant, sell point is on the ground. I like that, I prefer that. That's just me personally. That's our sell point. Digestate point is just over here for your byproducts. And we do have a silage clamp, bunker silo just here. Open that up. There you go. Fill level chaff and compacting. Now what I'm going to do is whiz over here, because what we also have is Granny's Island. Now I think Granny's Island is an addition. I'm trying to think back to the previous version on FS17, and it's the difference is, like I say, I think because so many things have been added, it does have a really different feel to it. So across the rope bridge onto Granny's Island. This is also a sale point. I think this is eggs as well. So Granny's little log cabin is here with a little garden. And sitting here, a gold bar. Now, that's going to become more relevant later on. I'll explain later. Sell point is just there, the trigger. Oil rig out there as well. I think that's new too. So I'm wondering if on Lucas Island, if I can get going on Lucas Island and get a bit more done, whether we could start doing some exports. Maybe we could export some of our goods here to Spectacle. Maybe Spectacle could deliver some stuff to us. Who knows? We could have a little bit of commerce going between the two islands, or island chains maybe. Continuing across from here, we are going to, I think it's the livestock market and also the spinnery. Yep, spinnery sale point on our left, just there. Livestock market, this side, just here. Don't think that opens. Nope. Always good to check. I'll do what I usually do every so often. We'll go back and we'll check on the map. We'll see our progress, where we've actually been. It's all well and good me driving around, but if there's no kind of context to where I am in relation to the map, it can often get a little bit confusing. So we're going to follow the pipeline along here, which is an addition. Before we go across to the next section, which will be where the main farm is, we're going to go out and look at, there's a fuel point. Which brings me on to the next thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, the map is seasons ready. I'm just looking at my notes. I've got a load of notes here. The map is seasons ready, and it does have a custom soil map for precision farming as well. Around the map there are various different buildings, sheds and shelters knocking about. But here we have a buy point. for fuel. Now what's really nice is, again, you got the oil rig just there, so the pipeline kind of comes in up into here to this sort of storage centre, whatever you want to call it here. But what we have got added onto the map is this is the fuel point. If we go out and across to, let's see if we can find one. There we go. So we've got zone propane 4. We've got further up, we've got propane, we've got petrol. These are all little places where people have got huts and houses and buildings. So what's been added in is the ability to deliver petrol and propane to them if you want to. Now, what Jim has done to allow for that, if we go into miscellaneous, we want to go to tools and miscellaneous. He's done this on quite a few maps. He's added in some modded tankers. So the modded tankers will take pretty much everything liquid related, water, milk, fuel, DEF. It will do liquid fertilizer, herbicide, slurry, digestate, and propane, that little sort of gas symbol on the end. So we've got 3 this time. We've got the Universal Trans, the MKU32 and the MKU8 has been added in. What is also added in, I was just randomly had a look. I don't know why I randomly had a look, but I did. And we've got the Cramper SB230 1070C there. So the standard in-game one is 78 grand, 59,000 litres. Jim's put one in here and it's 60,000 litres for 70 grand. So a cheaper alternative with the slightly larger capacity. So it's nice to have a bonus thrown in. So yeah, we can buy our fuel and propane here and we can do deliveries around the island. So Jim's kept that kind of thing in where it gives you a few extra little revenue streams, things you can do around the map. We are going to head from here now into, I'm really worried about not fitting all this in. Got to be quicker. Must be quicker. That's not going to be as easy as I think. So, crossing over. Various different things added in for detail, which I love. This was always very treacherous. I think this has definitely been widened. Now, it might have been widened on 17 because it had a couple of updates, but this has definitely had a few changes because we had some really rickety bits here. We've got bridges now, so you can get your machinery up and around here, no problem at all. Although when we come to the next one, you'll see that some people weren't quite so lucky because down there we've got a crashed tanker and we have a bus down there in the water. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And we come around to the main farm area. Now, as you can see, a lot of the fields to the right have got trees in them. This was something Jim did on Spectacle Island. Again, I think it was one of the first people I ever saw do this, and it was Spectacle Island that kind of showcased it. He's done it on a few maps since then, but as we come up into the yard area, this is kind of narrative storyline driven. So you kind of inherit a farm that's, you know, in a real bad shape and you need to do some work to clear it all up. Now, that might not be everyone's cup of tea. And I totally understand that, and if it's not, Jim's got you covered because that's what Jim does. Now, all these places where there are piles of rubbish and there's stuff in the way and it's all a bit of a mess, if you find a tree like this one here with a red ring around it, I haven't got a chainsaw. I'll just demonstrate. Chopping with my hand. That's just, doesn't matter which one I get. So, if we could chop the tree down, all of the related rubbish and things around that disappear. So we can go around. Now, you can then chop those up. You can put them into a trailer, do whatever you want, wood chip them. But there are quite a few of these to be doing. So as you can see, the rubbish and stuff associated with that goes. Now, one thing that doesn't go, I'll say one thing, there are a few of them. There are piles of various different things. There are wood chips. We've obviously got some chaff and stuff already in here. There's some seed and fertilizer. Those things remain. Jim left those in. With the bucket, you can pick them up. You can put them into storage or whatever. As a kind of bonus, you've got some added bits and bobs, you know, to give you something a little bit extra to do if you wanted something extra to do. Now, if cutting down all those trees is something that you're not really that interested in doing, like I say, Jim's got you covered. If we come around to the back of the chickens, which is just here, next to this little toilet we have a sign. Cutting this signpost with a chainsaw will permanently remove all trees from the fields. So all the fields out here that you own that are full of trees, you can either spend time logging those and clearing them, getting rid of the stumps in a storyline, and then, you know, however you want to go about it, then ploughing the fields and away you go, because I think they're all pretty much withered. But if we want to, just by removing this post, they all go. So if you don't want to spend time doing all that, you can just remove them and then you can do some ploughing and you can get going with that. That's all very handy. And he has done the same, Spectacle Farm, at the back of the cow farm barn, which we'll get to in just a moment. We do have a placeable area over the back here. So you've got a nice placeable area over there, over the bridge. And right at the back of the cow enclosure, there's another little toilet, outhouse. A few flies around this one. But this one says, cutting this signpost with a chainsaw will permanently remove trash from the farmyard. So if you don't want to spend time doing all the individual trees, if you find that's going to be annoying or just something you don't want to do, if we do that, like I say, you can do it gradually. You can do a kind of a storyline if you want to. That removes all of the stuff, all the debris, all the things that have been laying around. It also fixes up the farmhouse, because the farmhouse was all boarded up and needed a load of work. It just fixes it up, but it does leave all this loose stuff which you might want to go around and then collect. Cows are just here. All the animal pens are fixed in place here at the farm. You can't get rid of them. Each of the pens hold 500. Pretty sure they all hold 500. So we've got a little bit of stuff, you know, around here and there. Farm silo is just here. Into the silo, out of the silo. We've got our pigs here. Again, 500. The feed triggers and dialogue boxes are all pretty straightforward and easy to find. There's nothing hidden or complicated with any of that, which is always nice. Sheep is just here. Also 500. And our chickens are over here. Egg box is there. Feed trigger there. To get to the actual... Does that open? I thought it did. Our dialogue box is in here, where you've got your little hatchery. Now these eggs aren't collectible. It works the same way as it does on FS19 with your pallets coming in, but I like that this is here. Well, there are light switches pretty much in all the barns and buildings. Jimmy's very good at doing that as well. What we also have is a hayloft. Here's our hayloft for our straw and our hay, because it's a hayloft. Very helpful indeed. The main farm is here. Now, obviously, I didn't show that before I cut all the things down, but it's pretty derelict, all boarded up and that kind of thing. But just cutting that post down, or if you want to go around and do the trees. Obviously, the trees have all been removed because we did it in one foul swoop. But if we do it a bit at a time, we can gradually simulate it all being cleared up. There are tractors. Oh, I'm regretting that now. I shouldn't have done it, should I? Bear with me momentarily. A quick reset later. That's better. So, all these sorts of things that are here get removed when you take that post away at the back of the cow field. That's what the farmhouse looks like. Boarded up, derelict, cars and all sorts of stuff everywhere. Old tractors, oil drums, and just stuff everywhere, you know. So that's what it removes. I jumped the gun. I was getting overexcited, but yeah. And then all the trees, obviously with the red markers on them, all go. So what we'll do is let's get to about there. There we go. So we can go into the house. have a bit of a nose around. The sleep trigger is in here. Now, as part of the start machinery, and probably now is the time to look at that, what do we start with? Well, a lot of stuff you already saw on the deck of the ship. We've got the Fendt Fabric 511C, the K7210 Pro, the Rossel Mash 330, a couple of SEK 802 trailers, header for the harvester, plough, cultivator, seeder, chainsaw I bought, you don't start with that normally, front loaders, and we've got the spawn and sleep trigger. Now what's nice about that is you can sell it, get rid of it, so then you can place your sleep trigger wherever you want. If you're using a pillow or anything, deck chairs, anything at all, you can put them wherever you want. But that is not available in the placeables. So as far as placeables go, mods that Jim has put in himself, we have got under sheds a couple of AJ Tech barns and shelters. Now, unlike No Man's Land, which has got so many mods, so there's no sleep trigger in that one. So if you sell that sleep trigger, you then have to place your own one, because that obviously will cease to be there. Light switches around the house. We can go out the back of the house if you want to. Then here we have our workshop at the main farm. Workshop area here with your trigger just there for repair, customization. It always amazes me the level of detail that Jim gets onto his maps with such a low slot count. He is an absolute master at it. So from here, like I said, pigs, sheep, chickens, cows, all 500. We've got loads of barn and building space around here. When we come round, we've got some storage here for liquids, etc. We then have root crop storage around here. So we have storage for potatoes, sugar beet, and sugar cane. Putting in, taking out. And then we come down to a really, really cool feature, a nice addition. Depending on what thumbnail I choose to use, this is going to be probably on it. So, if you're going to do any logging of any description, cutting down your trees yourself, we've got a crane, that works. And what we have is a log barge. Oh yes, a log barge. Which we can drive. It has straps. You can put your logs on. You can fill it up. No, it doesn't just have to take logs. It can take pallets. It can take all sorts of stuff. Now, vehicles, when I spoke to Jim, he wasn't sure about, because there's no ramp bit to get up to this. And he said if you're going to put pallets and things like that on, you probably want to use a telehandler, because you can extend to grab that kind of thing. So the barge can be driven. Now, if you look down bottom right, there's not much fuel in the barge. But there is a fuel point right here. I'm going to back up a little bit where that boat is. Now that boat is also drivable around the map. But these both come with a warning. A very important warning. If you beach these, if you run them aground, you can't reset them. Because these aren't vehicles, they're not placeable vehicles. Whilst they are here on the map and you can use them, if you beach them or run them aground, unless you can get them unbeached by using something else, that's it. So you need to be very, very careful. I'm trying to think, where was the fuel point? What's the fuel point? No, Jim. Oh, it's over there. So you put it over there. See, it's moved. I was like, oh no! Loads of boats and stuff knocking around the map. Yeah, fuel points here, so when you need to refuel. And like I say, you can go onto that fishing boat as well. Jim is considering, at some point in the near future, maybe far future. Why is that not coming up with the... Oh, there you go, it's filled up. Brilliant stuff. So I've refueled. Actually making that boat able to carry grain and stuff like that, potentially. So this barge could go around the various different waterways. And I'm going to show you something on the map. So if we go to our map, we are currently here, and you can load by crane all the trees and stuff that are around here if you want to. Now, you can take this log barge all the way up here, and we can go, hang on, losing myself, all the way up here and out here, up to the sawmill, and we've got a section here. There's a sell point there, so you can take it to there and you can sell your logs and stuff there. But what is also added in, if we go up under this bridge, and this is the only way to go, if you go on any of these waterways, you'll run aground. You'll see why when we get to those later on. If we come up through there and then turn right and across the top, this one here, we've got the boat unloading station. So that is if you want to take, and the boat unloading station takes various different things. It will take potatoes, sugar beet, sugar cane. It will take wool. I think it's those ones. Yeah. So you can load those onto this log barge. As well as selling logs at the sawmill, you can take them up to the boat unloading station and sell them. I think this is a fantastic feature. I think it's absolutely brilliant to have. What a clever addition. If we can just get one of those like a car ferry now. Sorry, Jim, I'm not... So, I'm going to jump now back into the vehicle because we've got places to go. So backing away from the farm. We've still got so much to see and so little time to fit it all in. Heading down away from the farm. Past the fields that we cleared of all the trees, but they may have trees in them if you've decided to leave the trees in. I'm going to go right first, I think. We go up the hill to the right here. Derelict building just there. Up towards the horse stables. Now there's an old manor house here which is having a lot of renovation work done, and again the attention to detail with all the scaffolding around that building. You can go into that building, you can go up on the scaffolding if you want to. Little fountain there, shed to the side. The horses stable here holds 16 horses. Just there. And again, feed triggers and stuff very easy to find, very straightforward. Then we come round here and we've got a kind of slurry and manure yard. With some sell points. So we can sell manure. Over here we can, I think that's a sell point for propane. Let's go back to the map, I'm trying to remember. Where are we? Here. Yeah, so sell point for propane, sell point for manure, and sell point for slurry. So manure, propane, I love the steam coming off the manure. And then we've got a sell point for slurry just there. Now there is going to be a whole load of this. You want to come on, as I always say when I do map tours, you need to come on and you need to explore. The hedges do have collisions. You can't drive through them. Highlight that while I'm here. I'm going to head up now to the windmill on the hill, which is also a sell point. Now what Jim's also done on a few of these different points where you've got animations, he's done it on a few maps before. We have got triggers here. We go on here and press circle. You can turn the animation off. If it's annoying you or you've experienced any lag or any problems on the map, a few of those around the map you can turn on and off if you want to. The sell point is around the back. I've lost it. Where's the sell point? There we go. Just here. But again, the level of detail on the buildings and things is just incredible. Now, we're going to head from here. Actually, now's a good time to look at the map. So we came initially from here, out around there, looked around the housing area, biogas plant, Granny's Island, animal dealer and spinnery. Then we came all the way out here to the fuel point, back across the island. We looked around here at the various different things, down to the dock where the log barge was, then back into the vehicle, down the hill and out round here to the slurry yard, manure yard, propane, up the hill here to Hilltop Windmill. We're going to head down now and look at the, I'm trying to think which way we're going to go first. We have got up on the hill here an observatory. It's not a sell point, but there is something we're going to have a look at while we're up there. Speed up, MrSealyp. Speed up. I'm sorry, Jim, if I'm rattling through this. I'm finding, I don't know whether it's just me, maybe my settings on my PC, I'm finding that the colours and not necessarily detail, a lot seem to be a bit more vibrant. I'm playing on my PlayStation 5. It's the same game, it's not a different game. But it just seems... Maybe I'm imagining things, probably, but it just feels very vibrant. So, down onto the beach and out this way, we can head up to the observatory. That will become more relevant later on. I'm going to have to do another video, but not on the map tour, on something else. Although Jim has made that incredibly hard for me. All will become clear. So up the hill to the observatory, which is just up here. And if you remember the previous version, we had the Spectacle Island bear protecting its cubs. That used to terrify me. We still have it. The Spectacle Island bear is still here. With its cubs, and oh look, protecting a gold bar. Love that. From here, we're going to head to the bakery. Then we're going to find quite a few of the sell points kind of fall right on top of each other, so that hopefully will help. Now you may have seen from the map when I kind of showed it and said not to go a certain way because you will run aground. As we get to the bottom of here, you'll just see to the left there are marker poles. Those marker poles are areas you can ford across. There are 3 different routes across. One of those used to have a burning car. I think Jim's replaced that now. It's got a whale skeleton, whale bones on it instead. Again, just a few little changes here and there. Bakery sell point is just here. So we're going to head out this way. We can come back along to those in just a moment. So we're going to head to the furthest east of these crossing points. I've lost it. There it is, over here. As long as you stay within the poles, you shouldn't disappear into deep water. It may still say deep water, but you should be okay if you stick within these poles. So these fording points, like I say, there are 3. We're heading across to the next sell point. Whoa, be careful. That's the last thing I need. I have to reset it all again. So, sell point just there. We've come from the bakery or from the observatory up on the hill, down past the bakery, all the way along there. We've crossed at this point. You can just see them on the map. There's one there, one across the middle to that island, and then one across there. We are at the Soya Milk Factory. The Soya Milk Factory takes... I don't want to go that way. Soybean and oats, I think. Does it take milk as well? No, just soybean and oats. That's what that's there. Soya milk factory, sorry. Across the next bit, you may have just seen on the map, we also have a free lime point. Jim tends to do that on his maps. He's done it on, I did it on Sussex, didn't he? Was Mercury? Did Mercury have a free one? I'm trying to remember. If we just run across the beach here very quickly, the free lime point is just in here. Well, that's a bit steeper than I remember it being. Ooh, okay. Free lime. Just here. Put your trailer or wherever it is underneath that point there, and you should be able to get your free lime. There's the crossing point there. I'm not going to go across the island. If you want to check it out, do a bit of exploring. You may find yourself doing a bit of exploring yourself anyway. From here, we're coming to the northeast of the map, which is the main, or say the main, the next kind of port area with a few sell points and a buy point, so kind of almost like another import area. This has changed a little bit, so bear with me while I get my bearings. So what we have here is your import. If we look on the map, it will say imports crane. If I turn that on, circle, crane will come round over this point here, and you can pretty much buy anything. It's like a buy anything silo. You can pretty much buy anything that's been shipped in. That's your imports crane. We have got over here the grain warehouse, which is under there. Grain warehouse sell point. Now that will go back after a little while, but that's a buy anything. Now, as I said before, oh yeah, sell point, root crop. Root crop sell point is this one just here to the left. This one here is just simulating loading onto a ship, but this is another one of those ones, if you don't want the animation on for any reason, go on there, press circle, and you can turn it off. You don't have to have that running. If you don't want to, that's entirely up to you. Next is, was that a propane sell point? Yep, propane sell point, just here. Sunflower oil factory, just there. And then we've got the boat unloading. Now, there's nothing from this side, but it should be. Yeah, we've got the ramp here. So you bring the log barge out around here, bring it up against the side here, and you should be able to unload those various different things that the boat unloading point will allow. So again, unloading by boat. I mean, that's brilliant. What a fantastic addition. Absolutely brilliant. So quite a few sell points and a buy point all on top of each other up here in the northeast of the map. As you can see, the crane's going back now on its own, which it will do. Just looking down my list. Just making sure I haven't missed anything. No, don't think so. Think we're good. Right, let's head up the hill. So we've got a few of the propane and fuel points are up here because we've got a little community, I guess, up on the hill. Again, loads of logging, plenty of logging up here to be done too. This will be taken directly to the sawmill by lorry if you want to. So if you do want to do some deliveries of fuel and propane, there are a few around here. And then we're going to come round to the bit I've been alluding to, and that is the gold mine. Again, really nice feature. What Jim was trying to do was hark back to the old gold coins and the gold nugget hunts you did on the various different maps, and just decided to kind of, you know what, let's just add it in, let's put something in to make it a little bit more interesting. Although, oh dear Jim, the things you do to me. So we can turn this on and off. So this is where we're doing the gold prospecting. We're digging out of the mine, the wash plant system, so a few bits of gold there. We can turn it on and off if you want to as part of the animations. And there are 2 gold bars already here. Now, there were 5 originally. There are 25 gold bars scattered around the map for you to find. Only 25. Once they're gone, they're gone. Now, there were 5 here, which meant there were 20 around the map. I spent ages going around the map trying to find them. Messaged Jim and said, I can't find a single one. And Jim said, that's because the work in progress map I've sent you hasn't got them on yet. So I spent hours looking. That was why. So he sent me the updated version. I went round and I found the locations for all the 20. Then Jim messaged me today to say, oh yeah, I've taken 3 of them away from here So there are 3 somewhere else around the map that I don't know where they are yet. I'm going to have to have a look for them. But we can pick up these gold bars, we can put them on that belt, and we can get paid for them. So you can get a bit of extra income, some extra money from these. Now the price for gold, if we go right to the very end, does fluctuate. At the moment, the gold mine is paying 21,038 for a gold bar. If I put that onto the conveyor belt, which I'll be mad not to. Cha-ching! Nice. Now that, when I was having a look at the map before, was down as low as 10 or 11, I think it was. So you might want to wait until you find them. Be careful, because when I was having a look around the map before, now that was the PC version, like I say, I dropped one of the gold bars and it disappeared through the floor. I don't know if it's going to do that again. I would hope not, but just be warned, just be careful in case it does happen again. So we've got another fuel point there that we can sell to, and then we're going to head across towards the sawmill. Now again, with these areas, what Jim had originally proposed was that whole kind of clearing of the land. Forest areas people don't often do, and there are very large expanses, but there's plenty of scope for forging out an entire island yourself. If you wanted to just say, you know what, I'm going to clear the forest, set myself something up, I'm going to clear the forest and have all of my fields out here, absolutely go for it, why not? So we're now heading down to the sawmill. Our wood chip sale point is just there on the right. We do have a sawmill sale point just here, which is, you put them in there and the trigger is just over here. But again, with this, we can turn that off if you don't want that on, add that animation running. Oh look. But this is also where you can bring the log barge. So if you have decided to put logs on it rather than pallets of other stuff, we can bring the log barge directly into here. Now that crane doesn't work, but it doesn't need to because this is the sell point. So if you bring the log barge into here, you can see the hazard strips on the end there. This is your sell point here if you bring the log barge in. So again, I think that's brilliant. Bring your log barge in, dock it up, and then up onto there, and boom, sell your logs. What a fantastic feature. What a great thing to add. So, where have we been from here? We came out around here, up the hill and round these points here, round to the gold mine, which is down there, back out and across the bridge, up to the sawmill, zoom out. That's all forest. What we're going to do is whiz across through the forest and head to the straw barn. And then from the straw barn, these are all fields that you can then buy. And there are contracts available, so you can do contracts on them. But that will be it for the sell points. That's everything. We've been around all the sell points and all the parts of relevance, I think, probably the best way. There is a placeable area here as well. I don't know if we can buy that separately. Yeah, we can. 26,000. There is a placeable area there as well. Hopefully we'll get round to that. I'm just very conscious of time. And I'm frantically looking down at my list. I hope I haven't missed anything. I don't think I mean, I might have done. And if I have missed something, I do apologise. What I'm also going to have to do now is find those other 3 gold bars. The problem is Jim doesn't know which ones I found and where before, so I can't even message him asking where he's put them. Well, I suppose I could, but that's cheating. Now, as I said earlier, I honestly, hand on heart, and this is not just because Jim's a friend, and you know, I'm excited about this map anyway because it's Spectacle Island. You know, this was one I didn't do a Let's Play on in 17, and I really wish I had have done. And I'm in that same situation again now. I've got 2 Let's Plays on the go, and I'm thinking, how can I incorporate this? Because I want to do some stuff on here. Having the barge and the little fishing boat and stuff available, I think is brilliant. But I really do like the features and things Jim has added. It does feel different to the previous version, while still having a lot of the similarities of the previous version. And of course, because it's FS19, we've got all the FS19 extra bells and whistles and goodies that it brings. So, straw barn sell point, or barn sell point, is just here. If we, hang on, wrong one. I've lost myself. There we go. Straw barn is just there. And that is pretty much Spectacle Island. I know it's been a little bit rushed. It had to be. I had to fit it all in. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you do come on here, if you are going to go on the gold nugget hunt, good luck. If you have found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form, please give us a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.